Hi, in this video I'm going to address an issue of a pinch-roller not fully dropping down in this Technics M205. The deck would not drop its pinch-roller down fully, therefore jamming the door and stop the cassette from being pulled out easily as well. So if you have a issue with your pinch-roller not dropping down fully in your cassette deck, whether it's a Technics M205 or any other cassette deck, stick around. Let's have a look. So this pinch-roller here won't fully retract. And it keeps on coming back up. And if I load a cassette, it kind of gives in for the cassette to go in, but then when the cassette is in, moves up when it's press played. That's the end of the tape, so that's going to come back down, but not the pinch roller itself. That stayed up. And now when I try to eject the cassette, it's getting stuck there on the pinch roller because it's not fully retracting down. Yeah. But if I just give it a fling like that, or maybe not this time, it did last time. I'll just give it a fling like that again. Yeah, I think that's fully down. Let's have a look. Cassette. Yeah, that's fully down now. Now that I flicked it like that, and that releases the cassette no problem. So what I might do, what I'm thinking of doing is there's a spring there. Where is it? Just there, and it comes up against the cassette door. I'm thinking of moving it somewhere else, that spring, see if that does any difference. That end of the spring there. Or even something to do with this end of the spring. I don't know if you can see that, but that spring is over that peg there. Yeah, that looks good here. And I have lubricated that shaft on which the pinch roller swings up and down, that plastic shaft with the big spring at this end. And I have lubricated that shaft already. I see what's happening. That spring there at this end, when you close the door, it moves the capstan roller up, so it probably shouldn't touch anything at this end. And now I have to take out the mechanism. What's happened is that spring came off that shaft there at this end. It was up on top, and it flung off, so now I'll have to take the mechanism out by the looks of things. So one screw and another screw here, and two more screws here. And with those two gone, it's still one piece with the counter, so that bracket might have to come off. So that's 2 screws on the bracket gone, and that seems to be a lot looser, and it's got room to go back, except there's something still holding it. That record switch is not helping much, nor is this if it's not focusing. Yeah, that's better. And that is going to come out. What's it doing? It's sitting up against the fascia with this part here, and up against the cables with the motor, so I might get that clip and cut that clip and move the wires out of the way, see if it comes out like that. Yeah, just by moving the wires out of the way with my fingers, I was able to make some room. And hopefully I can get to that spring there and lubricate that capstan shaft and see if that works. Still not a lot more room. And there's that spring I want to get to. This one here. I might have to remove the door as well by unclipping it from here, and same on the other side. The only difference on the other side is that spring. Here, so just by getting my fingernail under there, I was able to get that door out, and same on the other side I'm going to do here. And that door's going to come off, make some room to get to that spring. Yeah. It's almost off on this side. And that's the door off. And here's the spring, and as soon as I turn it on, it loses focus, but there's that spring. And this end of spring that goes here, I have to put back over this shaft here. So I have re-lubricated that that shaft there again, except the lubricant seems to be going everywhere else but in that spot. It does seem to almost fall down by itself. It was before. Yeah, like that, it just falls back into place. Well, I've got everything in the open. I might as well give the head a thorough clean. Both of them. Strangely, when I do it with a spring, try to lower the capstan roller, there's a bit of resistance about there, and then it goes fully down. On the other hand, if I do it just with my finger, there's no resistance whatsoever. And yeah, but like that, with the finger pushing it down, no resistance whatsoever. And that might be on just depending on the position of that spring, whether it's what position that spring's in. Now, for instance, there's 0 resistance. Even, yeah. If I move the spring at this angle, 0 resistance. If the spring's like that, then there's a bit more resistance. Just what I've noticed. So I might have to remove all this assembly here because I cannot see where that other end of its spring is. So these two screws here and that one there, and swing this out of the way, and now I should be able to do something with that, with this end of the spring, which went on top of here like that. And that keeps the tension down. Yeah. So I'll just do that for a moment. And while I'm here, take this off and clean it up and lubricate it properly now that I'm here already. And hopefully that should work as good as new. Unlike this camera that doesn't want to focus. So give it a good clean and give it a good lube on the shaft as well as on the inside of the pinch roller assembly in there, although it does look clean. And maybe lube up this surface here which rests on here and see how that goes. Yeah, it looks like that goes on the inside of that peg, otherwise by the time the heads move up pinch roller won't be able to touch the capstan, so yeah, that would have to go on the inside. And now the pinch roller can have contact with the capstan. If I were to put it on the inside, the pinch roller would not make contact under any conditions whatsoever. Right, so like that. That's lubricated. Now for that spring. With that spring, the long end comes out here and the short end would go over the top like that. And that spring has got more than enough to bring the pinch roller down. That's plenty of tension on that spring. And that's what I was thinking before. Even perhaps that spring should be under there, maybe. I'm not sure, but that definitely works. Yeah, okay, let's put these buttons back on. If not, I can always move the spring later. Unless it comes off at the other end again, then I'll be back in square one. That's one of the screws. And the second screw. This is how I picked the deck up, and there was a problem that pinch roller wasn't dropping down far enough, and it was making stopping the cassette from coming out and things. Hopefully this has fixed it. And let's turn it on and see what's actually happening. That's the cassette in. play, stop, pinch roller dropped, but has it dropped far enough to take the cassette out? That's the thing. I guess I won't know until I put the door on. Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, it works like it did before. Play, pinch roller engages, and drops down. Does it drop down far enough? Let's turn it off, unplug it, and put the door back on. The spring goes under the cassette cover, like that, in there, and stretch the door over the chassis of the keys into that slot there on both sides. Where is it here? I'm not focusing. What's going on? So evenly from both sides. I'm just going to bring it down into that hole there. Why the fuck isn't it focusing? There. That's where it's going, into here and into here. Right. So like that. Almost there. On the other side, it's got a fair bit to go. Clicked in on the other side. And soon it's going to click into here. Almost there. Okay, I still don't remember where that screw went. I'll have to have a look at my own footage. Cassette door opens. Let's try the cassette again, see if that's going to work now. Okay. Turn it on. Throw the cassette in. Like that. Press play. That's not play. This is play. Yeah, it's not hooking up on the cassette anymore. So I'd say that this deck is now fully working, fully playable. Nothing hooking on anything. Drop down. Yep. So what I think has happened is that spring was just leaning up against the door instead of the peg where I've put it, and that seems to have fixed it. I probably could have done it without taking the mechanism apart. Thinking about it now, I'll know what to do next time. So that's why I go through all that trouble, so you can just watch a video and won't have to maneuver the mechanism back inside like that. The counter and the rest of it. And here you can see the belts, they got a blue tinge to them. So these look like new belts to me. I don't know about the flat belt, but these two are definitely new belts, I would say. It wasn't me who put them on. And the mechanism's fully home. You just got to work your way around that record switch lever thingy. That's the ground that goes under that screw there. Alright, continue. So I'll get this one in first, just a little bit, not all the way yet. One more here. So these two screws, two more up the top. So that's that one for the tape counter, and one more here, just above the motor. Yeah, it's upside down. Now that I've got them all in, I'll torque them up evenly. Now that support bracket can go back into place. That went across from the tape counter across to here. I've ended up sliding it out of this clip there. It can only go one way. There's a dowel here, and that goes there. This end in first, locating dowel here, and two screws. Yeah, not like that, like this. And I'm just going to throw a new cable tie for these wires to the bracket again, and that will do. And install the bottom cover on the 6 screws. Now for the top cover. There is a hole on the back of the machine for adjusting speed on the motor, but whatever someone's done here, those technicians, they like to change the plugs on these things, and obstructed the way to the motor, so I might move some of these wires to give good access to adjusting motor in the future. I don't know why they do that. Well, they say they change it for safety, but yeah, I'd rather they didn't. And that's the cable tucked away, out of the way to adjust the motor speed now. While I'm there, a quick deox of the recording switch. With that done, let's have a look how that turned out. Cassette door opens fine. Well, maybe no. I've got royalty-free music on here. Fast forward's cool. Rewind's fine. Auto stop works. Still ejects. Let's press play. Still ejects. So that means the pinch roller is dropping down fully this time. Seems to be playing fine too. and I could edit the video out and all the blunders out of it and everything and make myself look like a professional, which I'm not. I'm just an amateur, and I hope that video helps anyone with the same problem on this deck, or any other deck in fact that they're having this problem with. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next or the previous video.